about the red. Yeah. And actually, if you look around, there is a lot of red in here. Now, this one is not called cobra head for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
You've even got the forked tongue. If you put your hand here, there's the hole, the entrance into the plant.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll notice the top of the head is covered in windows.
Yeah.
So the fly goes to where the red is, flies up the hole, because around the inside of the hole you've got little nectaries, and so it's attracted to the smell of the sweetness. It looks up, it can still see the sky above it. So it flies up, bonk, hits itself on there and is knocked down into the tube. And the tube is full of a digestive juice, the same as in our stomachs. So the fly falls, is knocked into that, drowns, and is digested.
That's quite fascinating.
And of course, it's the kids love it. It's a bit of blood and gore, and the kids love it. And that's the one. There is the Venus flytrap.
Oh,
and it's actually quite funny because I think a lot of them have seen it on Attenborough. I blame him. Because on the telly it looks big.
Yeah.
And the number of kids who say, "Oh, miss, is that it?" I think they, I think they think they're going to be able to put their arm in it and
yeah.
but I mean, as I say, it's not looking at its best at the moment. In a month or so, it'll actually all of them in here will start talking much more. So they'll all have those out. The Venus flytrap has red on the sort of palmy bit. A couple of spines. When they touch the spines, it snaps shut. This is the South African one, but the Scottish one looks identical. Absolutely identical. As I say, it is not looking good at the moment, but in a few weeks,
I can see the wee
there.
spine.
Can you actually see the little blobs? What looks like water on there?
Oh yeah,
over there?
yeah.
Well, it's called sundew because it looks like dew on the ground.
Yeah,
now, later on, when it starts growing again, the whole thing, the leaves, are covered, as you say, of what look like little spines, but they're little hairs. And the end of every single hair produces these blobs. Looks like water, and this one is really aiming for midges.
Right.
So along comes the tiny midge, thinking it's going to get a drink of water, lands on there, and then discovers it's actually glue.
Oh.
Can't get off. It struggles, and the more it struggles, that actually stimulates the leaf to roll up over the midge, and those sticky bits cling hold to the midge, and it produces more and more, and that digests the body of the midge. And then here, it's still got some liquid in some of these. Now, this is quite a clever one because the creatures can just walk down into this one. But if you look carefully at those hairs, they're all pointing down. So they can walk down, but they can't walk back up again. Here, I love this story appertaining to Glasgow. Because during the Second World War, moss was collected in the forests around Glasgow. It was cleaned, wrapped up, and then sent out to the field hospitals in both World War I and II. When they ran out of bandages, they used sphagnum moss. Because number one, it contains antibiotics, so you can use it and it keeps the wound cleaned. Secondly, the sphagnum moss will hold up to 16 times its own weight in liquid, so blood, whatever. So they found it to be incredibly useful. They couldn't produce sufficient bandages that people were becoming, wounded so rapidly. So Scotland, Glasgow particularly, used various industries in the city and was sent out to the field hospitals from Glasgow. You've got Venus flytraps buried in here.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, what you don't realise is they're actually still in pots.
Oh, right.
Just to stop them from going mad. And then each year, we get the Jew's ear fungus growing on here. It's just started again. You can see down there.
Oh, yeah.
And then there, you can see the blobs of liquid.
Yeah, the glue.
Yes. And then that's a tiny, weeny little butterwort just starting to come up.
They do look deadly. They do have that.
They've got this sort
they have that kind
sinister.
of eerie. Like.
This one only eats ants.
Oh.
And you can see the difference. This one's lying on the ground. And if you look carefully, you've got a big mouth there. So the ant walks in and it turns and comes down this tube. Now, in this tube, in the entrance to this tube, there are two brushes. The ant has to push through the brushes and it can only go again in one direction. It can't come back. And when it comes out at the end of the brushes, it comes into this little channel which is full of liquid. It drowns.
Oh.
I mean, really, as I say to the kids, you know, if you're upset by the fact that it's gory and unpleasant, think of it as an adaptation, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
These plants grow in parts of the world where the soil is very, very wet, soggy. There's no food in the soil. And so this is what they do to get food. They take the nitrogen out of the bodies of the insects.
Would things like this be in the rainforest?
No, actually, to be honest.
I was just looking at really.
Yeah, no. They're close to it, because the eastern United States, you do actually have the Spanish moss. And it is quite warm, but it's not exactly rainforest. The ground is saturated, but it will get cold in the winter.
Okay.
And you can feel it.
Yeah.
We have to let the temperature right down here in the winter. But I just thought, well, I'll bring you, because the kids are bound to ask you, you know, about particular plants.
That's a nice treat as well.
Pardon?
It's a nice treat for them
Well,
as well.
exactly, and they do like coming and seeing these because they are a bit different. You know, and if you want to say to them, well, look, you know, put your finger up the back, as long as you're gentle, and as long as you're careful, that's fine.
Okay.
The only ones that we, you know, we say for their own sakes are the cacti and the succulents. For their own sakes, they can't touch those, but pretty much everything else we'd welcome them touching.
There's only 24 in my class, and they're that's a nice bunch. So I
Excellent.
don't have to.
Well, that's
I
really
don't think
good.
I've got any worries about any of them there.
No, that's really nice. When you've got a bunch of kids that you get on with and that they're keen to learn, and it does make a difference. I must admit, I admire you enormously. I couldn't be a teacher every day, all day.
Well, I'm excited at being out here today. Like,
No, I mean...
It's nice not to be on show here like for a day.
Well, in fact, only this last couple of weeks we've been having our CPDs, or PDPs, or I can never know what it is. And I say to them, I do get a number of special needs schools every year, and I personally feel inadequate to the task because I don't really always know how to respond. With children with minor problems, that's not a problem, but occasionally I'll get schools come in where children are seriously disabled, and they might actually not respond in any way. They might be in a big wheelchair. And all I can do then is perhaps take soft leaves and put them on, or scented leaves. And I just somehow feel it's not enough. I mean, the carers are very nice and say that's absolutely fine, but there don't seem to be any courses that I can go on to sort of work out what more I can do.
I know at People's Palace, in their garden, they do a course for ASM children.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like especially support needs. But again, I don't know how. I'm sure because we went. That was this is my probation year. So this is my first year.
Right.
So I remember we were at uni last year. We went to People's Palace.